Hi, welcome to the podcast Ease into Clarity. I'm Dr. Divi, family doctor turned intuitive coach, and I'm here to help you. In this podcast, we will learn mental techniques, emotional techniques, and spiritual techniques to change daily problems. So maybe it's your husband, your boss, your coworker, your kids, they're driving you crazy. You can email me any of your questions and I will use all the techniques I've learned over the years and help you. Grab your hot chocolate and make sure to subscribe. We'll see you soon. Ciao. Hello, and welcome to your podcast, Ease into Clarity. I'm Dr. Divi. Thank you so much for joining me. Today, we're going to jump more into the body. I've done the last two podcasts in the body, and we're going to jump even deeper today. So grab a pen and paper, grab your hot chocolate. Let's have some fun. Close your eyes for a sec. Take a breath. Ask yourself, do I believe the body can heal? And see what answer you get. Just breathe into that. What's your knee jerk? Hopefully you said, hell yeah, or fuck yeah. Yeah, of course I can believe it can heal. God, I hope you do. Because that belief that you just tapped into is the most important part. If you have a larger voice that doesn't believe your body can heal, you might as well shut this off. Because we have to want to believe that we have an innate ability for our body to heal in order for it to heal. I don't think it's anything different than me cutting my hand or me, having a major illness. If my little cut can heal, then any illness can. But I'm going to go through a step-by-step way that I use for every pain or any problem I've got to help me understand how I can get the body to heal. So I'm going to recap a little bit from the first two podcasts on the body, not to go into detail, but to remember the body is just a reflection. We have what's called the ego, our crazy thought systems of fear, fight or flight, oh God, oh God, oh God. And then we have spirit. We have these two thought systems. The ego is a thought system of fear. Spirit is a thought system of love. And the only reason we have the body, besides really good sex, the reason we have the body is to tell us when we are creating a thought system that is different than spirits. Kind of simple, right? So I cannot exist on the planet without I can have the occasional thought of fear or the occasional thought of fight or flight. But if I have it, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, like a never-ending battery that's hitting my body, then my body's going to hurt. And luckily, we have a bit of a buffer of time. It usually doesn't happen when we're 1 year old. It usually happens when we're 20, 30, 40 years old. So the fortunate or unfortunate thing is you have a buffer of time. The unfortunate thing is you've been doing it for 20, 30, 40 years. And you've got a thought system that's constantly in this pattern that you just think it's normal. There are a lot of people out there that just think it's normal to be fearful all the time. There's a lot of people out there who just think, okay, I just got to put up walls all the time. And when I say a lot of people, I'm also including myself. I know when I started this work over 20 years ago, I thought it was normal to walk around with walls up in front of myself all the time, protecting myself from what other people thought. I thought it was normal to be scared all the time, put on the news, be scared, right? Little did I know that there was a different way to think. So the first step when it comes to, healing yourself, to say, do I actually believe it's even possible out of 100? Fuck yes or hell no. Or God, of course my body can heal. We talked about it in a previous podcast, but that's so, so important as basis. The next thing to understand is we have this ego thought system, which is the fight, flight, freeze. You know, the love thought system. And all it is the pain that you're experiencing in your body is a physical deposit of a thought system that's fight, flight, freeze. And that's it. It's not because you're bad. It's not because you carried your purse wrong. It's not because you got pregnant. It's not because. It's only because of a thought. There's $1 billion trillion industry out there that says, okay, no, you've got to do this protocol. You've got to do this diet. You've got to take this medication. You have to do that surgery in order for your pain to get better. Now, doing a little bit of that might be helpful. It'll buy you some time. It'll keep you alive. It'll help the pain. But if you don't do this thought emotional work, that same discord of thought will occur in another illness in your body. Okay? So you might as well do it now. So first step, how much do I believe in it? The second step to understand that I've got a mental patterning that is creating this illness. Just a thought pattern, a way I've thought, the way I've been trained to think all the time. I was trained to think X, I was trained to think Y, and just be open to that. Number 3, as soon as you are told that you have a patterned way of thinking that's causing your illness, some people have a knee-jerk, okay, I know what that is. And other people don't. I may have shared this story before, but I remember being 27, 28. I was working in Metrotown Mall. I had an office there. And I remember diagnosing this woman who was 75, an Asian woman who was 75 with lung cancer. I remember bringing her to my office and saying, hey, so your x-ray shows, explains why you're coughing and so on and so forth. And I remember looking at her and she looked at me with these eyes and she said, I know why I have this lung cancer. I said, oh, okay, why? And she said, it's because I haven't forgiven my son. And it was just like that. She said that. She says, I know what to do. And I said, do you want me to refer you to the, I said, my job is to refer you to a respirologist. She said, yeah, go ahead and do that. But the first thing I need to do is forgive my son and take this pain off my body. I've been grieving the loss of my son because I put up a wall there. And she said it fast that I can snap my finger. So there's some of us who walk around knowing that thought system may be related to my body. Now, maybe, you're walking around with this pain in your shoulder, you're like, you have no idea why it's there, or this pain in your knee, you have no idea why it's there. And that's where you can drop to your knees and say, universe, I need to know what the thought system is. Please tell me. I'm going to give you 72 hours, 96 hours and show me. And they're not going to show you by writing it out on a piece of paper, though we don't want to see it that way. They're not going to show you by telling it to you in your ear. They'll show it to you in different ways. The most common way they'll show you is they will activate that same emotion in the next few days. And you might just go, huh? So what it is you're trying to figure out what is the emotion and the thought system that's creating the pain, say, in your knee. You're saying, universe, I don't know what it is, so you tell me. Then pay attention for the next 3 or 4 days and notice places in your life where you're going 0 to 100. And it could be something you react all the time. Let's just say you're in Costco and you have the same reaction over and over again. Don't take that lightly. Just say to yourself, hey, the universe is talking to me here. I'm not going to ignore this. I'm not going to ignore this. I am going to be open to the universe because I said 4 days and this is what happened. Okay? So that's the way that you can actually work with the universe and say, hey, I don't know what's going on or why this is here, but I need help. And then pay attention to what they send you. Okay? And then the next step, once you're paying attention and you've kind of figured out, okay, it's because I react this way, or because I do that, or because I do that. Remember, we have 40 to 60,000 thoughts a day. And you've just got a stream of thoughts that's creating the pain. You've asked the universe to show you if you don't know. Drop to your knees. You're like, oh, it's just because I do that all the time. I think I'm responsible. Then you got to look at that thought and say, okay, that thought I've been thinking since I was 2 years old. That thought my dad trained me to think. That way of being is all I know how to be. And here's the thing. That's not true. Just because you think a certain way does not mean that there's a different way to think. And I think that's a big clincher for a lot of people. People think that there's only one way to think. And here I am to say to you, there's many ways to think. You don't have to react with a wall up. You don't have to react defensively. You don't have to react in this fear place. And just being open to that is massive. Being open to there's a different way to think is huge, absolutely huge. So take a breath with that, breathe into that, and just see what happens. To that idea that there is a different way to think. So now let's say that you've determined, is this reaction way that you're doing that you think is related to your pain? Great, we're a million times ahead of it. Now we can work with it. So I want to share with you, I wrote down about 4 or 5 things that I find people say to me all the time, and they don't realize that this could be part of it. So when you start to identify with the thought system, then you want to kind of break it up. Okay, what is this all about? Well, maybe it's I'm not safe. Maybe it's this is scary. Maybe it's all up to me. Maybe it's, I don't know what to do. Maybe it's, I feel stuck. These pervasive way of thinking that the ego thinks is completely differently than his spirit thinks. And that is why you have the pain. The pain isn't there because you're bad. The pain isn't there because you've done something wrong. The pain isn't there because, the universe is trying to get back at you. Is to change these way of thinking. Let's go with that first one. I'm not safe. The problem is when you identify with this body, you'll never be safe. This is not who you are. You're an essence, a soul, a divinity, an energy. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to drive around without a helmet and take your seatbelt off, but it means you're not going to live in perpetual fear of dying. You're not be in perpetual fear that something's going to happen to you. When you can open up that, okay, I'm not just this body, then you can actually possibly release a little bits of it that says I'm not safe. This world is scary. Yeah, this world is scary if you think it's scary, or this world can be as safe as you want it to be. You get to decide, half cup full, half cup empty. This idea it's all up to me means you haven't heard of law of attraction, and that's a joke. The universe is constantly responding to you all the time. The idea that it's all up to you means a lot of personal work. What if the universe is constantly delivering to you? What if the universe is constantly sending you messages? What if the universe is constantly delivering to you on a platter who and what you're here for? I don't know what to do. The thing is, we have 40 to 60,000 thoughts a day. Amongst that 40,000 thoughts, there must be a little inkling about what to do. The thought that I don't know creates more I don't know. The thought that you're stuck makes you forget that there's 7 other solutions to your one problem. So this whole video, this whole podcast is hopefully teaching you the only reason you have a pain in your body is because the ego thought system doesn't believe with spirits. Let's spend a few minutes as how spirit thinks. Spirit knows you're not a body. Spirit knows you're not trapped in this body. Spirit knows you're an essence that keeps going. Spirit knows that you're safe and contented and peaceful inside. Spirit knows that they can deliver anything to you in the drop of a hat. Spirit knows you're on a path. Spirit knows you're figuring it out. Spirit knows you are love. So the more you play with this shifting of thinking from the ego thought system to spirit thought system, and then in the next video of the podcast, we're going to do a whole video just on forgiveness the next time around. And the reason video 4 is going to be all about forgiveness is because it's actually probably the most important one. So play this back a few times and please share this with people. The body is an issue, an area I love to talk about because I was a physician. There are so many areas of my own physical body with this work, and I believe everyone can. So please share this with your friends and family who are sick and not well. They'll just open up their mindset. Even if you don't think they're ready, that little opening of mindset can change everything. And then the next video, we're going to talk a lot more about spirit. We're going to talk a lot more about forgiveness. So you can really heal these ego thought systems that says you're scared. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Because the miracle is a shift in perception. When you change the perception from fear to love, that's how we heal, but not just thought, emotionally. I'm sending you so much love and thank you for joining me on the podcast. Have the most beautiful, wonderful day, and thank you for sharing this. Take care. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me in this podcast, Ease into Clarity. It is such a joy, pleasure, and honor to be in your living room. What I would love is if you follow me on Instagram, DRDIVI, or go to my website, drdivi.com, or write a review. That would be even more amazing. Thank you. If you really enjoyed this podcast, feel free to share it with friends, family. Tell them to follow me, because I think the more of us that listen to the fact that each of us can start to shift, each of us can shift mental things, emotional things, spiritual shift, to shift our daily reality. When more and more of us do it, we get a better planet. We get more love. We get more happiness. We get more joy. So I'd love it if you followed. I'd love it if you shared this, because it would be such a joy and an honor. And again, if you have a question, guess what? I'm here for you. So send me an email, easeintoclarity@gmail.com. And as they come in, I will answer them in podcasts that are subsequent, whether it be your boss, your relationship, your husband, whatever. That's what I'm here for. Because the more of us that learn really simple mental techniques, really simple spiritual techniques, we change the physical reality we live in. Pretty soon, we have more peace, more ease, more joy, trickling across the whole world. Remember, there's a spiritual solution for every problem. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.